Hey, we're here and we're live.
Are
as
live.
of this
We are?
moment of pressing record and talking now, we don't have a name for this podcast yet. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll horribly dub myself in later. Maybe I won't. And
We're talking to you, future Fraya.
yeah, have fun, I guess. Anyway, welcome to this podcast we are now starting, where our dear new host, Ben, will be chatting with us about the recent events of the Rolling 20's. And for this week, we're going to be talking about episode 1, Null Means Null, and episode 2, Pinky Promise, which Ben has not seen anything past that yet. As of right now, episode 5 just aired last night, so we will be trying to catch up. So we'll be recording these pretty shortly after the episodes air. For for me and the party, it's been like 6 or 7 weeks since episode 1 was recorded. So don't hate us if we've forgotten tiny details, because it's been almost 2 months.
Please forgive us.
But, yeah, a little quick history. Ben and I used to work together at my grandfather's business for a while. We also were on a movie review podcast called What the Fuck Am I Watching? Which is run by my uncle. And that was a lot of fun. If you want to check that out, feel free to. It's on YouTube and SoundCloud, I believe, the only places he put that. But, yeah, with us today, we have Josh, who plays Volcar, and Dan, or Iron Dan, who plays Derek. Probably will be switching out from some of the players week to week, or recording to recording, just based on whoever the hell wants to show up, I guess. So, Ben, I will turn it over to you. Have at it.
Thank you very much, Fraya. I'm going to be super formal and put on my podcasting voice for about 5 minutes until I'm actually comfortable here.
Good.
Excellent. So yeah, I finished episode 1 and 2, and most notably, I finished episode 2 about 30 minutes ago.
It was fresh in your mind.
Very fresh in my mind, but my mind is a sieve sometimes. Especially when I'm driving, sometimes I have to focus on the road and will miss a thing or two in the podcast. If you see me looking at my phone, that's what I used to take notes on. And also, some of these notes are very small, quick-hand notes, so it'll be fun for all of us to unpack them. Because I'm like, what did that mean?
Awesome.
But yeah, first I wanted to start. There was probably a lot of, well, from what I heard, a few episode and world building things that happened before episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
How much backstory, I suppose, are we missing at the start?
We did, if I'm remembering correctly, 4 sessions that we played before we started recording. In terms of character backstory, there's a lot of stuff that wasn't ever brought up in those first few episodes. The super short version is the party met. They took a job from Mirka to go up to a farm to investigate a weird creature based off one of my favorite Pennsylvania local cryptids.
The picture that he supplied to us was the most terrifyingly pitiable looking thing you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's great. At some point, I'm still working out the details, but I'm getting some stuff together to put like a full one video maybe, or a couple videos on like super detailing the events that happened. But short version is really ugly, and it was making kids cry and then essentially go into a coma of sadness. And they were hired to go investigate this creature.
The critical
and they
depression
did
monster.
Yes, they did it. They managed to shatter essentially a soul stone that had the soul of a man in it, and after they did that, it turned the creature back from being super ugly to being really cute but weird. It's kind of like pig, zebra, horse thing.
With it's like the size of a sausage or something. Like, looks like a sausage.
Well, not the size of, but the shape of, yes.
I'm sorry, it's been a month and a half. I gotta get into my.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they went back to the city. I
assaulted the client.
Yes, part of the job was to deliver whatever creature this was to a super rich tavern, essentially, in the northern part of the city, and specifically to a tabaxi woman, and Volkar assaulted her. It got shot with a crossbow, pretty much told if you didn't stop him, you'd be killed.
Out of the mob.
He made
hours.
like aggressive walking motion, and they immediately shot him.
Yes. I guess attempted assault is what it was, but so he was shot by. Yes. So the guy who owns this establishment is maybe sort of in charge of the mob of the city in a way.
I insulted his daughter,
and you insulted his daughter, who is the client.
Wrong start.
I'll save the details on the rest of that encounter there and that conversation inside. Yeah. Kayla saved his life essentially just by reputation. Yeah. Then they split up. Some of them went to go report back to the person who had put out the job, a tabaxi named Jem, who is everyone's favorites. I'll also spare the details on him for now.
Oh boy.
They call him the Edgelord. Yeah, so and we discovered pretty quickly he might have some kinks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
But anyway, instead of getting the 1,500 gold that they were going to, he was like, "Hey, by the way, I sell magic items, and if you want some items instead, you can." So they took a bottle of giant's piss and a sack of bats and an amulet that will let Volkar speak to the dead once.
I still have that amulet, by the way.
And I'm still salty about that. We could have gotten an item that gave us fly speed.
Yeah. So, for reference, they did this without consulting more than half the party. There was only a couple people who made this call.
More than half the party were not in the shop, so nerds to them, I guess.
This is going to be great for the second point I get to, but I'll let the recap go then.
Yeah. So I'll give the super spark notes on the next bit because I could talk for a long time on it. But so after this, they all kind of meet up back in the marketplace. Milo hadn't been in the first 3 sessions, by the way.
He was a later
joined us. He joined us.
Died almost immediately.
He joined us right now, where he is being led through the marketplace in handcuffs by one of the Watchers, who is a guard under Arathis, the god of law, because he was just caught stealing something and was going to be taken down to the Cradle, which is like the main courthouse, essentially. And as they're doing this horrible giant eldritch abomination monster of dozens of mouths, wailing voices, eyes, flesh, and all sorts of organic dripping matter comes tearing into the marketplace, goes absolutely crazy. Milo almost dies instantly in handcuffs. He's swallowed by it unconscious. 2 out of 3 failed death saves. The party has a real hard time with this. Kalis reveals his wings, takes to the air, has a cool moment, and the best thing of the campaign happened, which is the Chosen One was born. So the Chosen One
is this random guy.
Is a random guy who just happened to be nearby that I was like, sure, he'll go fight this thing, and performed better than everyone in the entire party by a considerable margin.
He killed the monster. He
killed the monster. And I turned it to the party and said, create this man for me. So they made him. His name's Torn Zendin. They decided after this he would go on to become a druid of Melora, and we'll get to that. You'll meet him eventually.
Great.
And
We don't know how he's become a druid, Melora, but he has.
well, at the end of this encounter with this awful eldritch monster, Melora, the Wild Mother herself, so essentially just Mother Nature, shows up, turns this thing into a tree, heals everyone who is injured, all the dead, kind of decomposes them and like turns them into like nice flowers and plant growth around the marketplace. And we left on a very weird note before they went and got another job from Mirka and left to
go on like a long distance expedition.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know how to say words. I truly do.
But yeah, that's what happened. Is there anything big I missed, guys? Any
I say Miley with a clutch healing word.
That is true. You did clutch that so hard. We almost
Literally, if I did not do that, he would have died the next turn.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So after that, okay.
And Kalis's giant feud with Volcar began.
Oh boy, did we get a lot of that.
Because he just when Kalis described himself as shiny metal armor, so we immediately called him shiny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a note.
In the first bit with the creature that they went to go get, Kalis nat 1'd twice, ate shit in the mud. It was great. Another important detail, actually, when they went back to go get the second job from Mirka after, the Wild Mother showed up,
oh yeah,
one of the higher ups, a tiefling named Sarissa from the Order Bahamut, who is an arch guardian, which is so Kalis is here, okay?
Yeah.
Then you have guardians above him, and you have an arch guardian above them, who's in charge of a bunch of guardians. So she's like his boss's boss, essentially, but of another branch. She was talking to Mirka and was not in armor. She was in a super fancy dress. She is a very attractive, eye-catching woman who is aware of it. And Kalis was just
completely dumbfounded.
Yeah, just dumbfounded and bumbling his way through a conversation where she was actively embarrassing him, and yeah. So that happened, and Volcar brings that up a few times in the first few episodes. I don't remember if he's done it already in episode 1 or 2, but
I caught, but I might not have known the backstory to it. So
yes.
Well, now you know. And knowing
there we go.
Battle.
Knowing's half the battle. So yeah, that's all the big stuff that happened. That's the condensed version. And then they left the city, and then Knowles, and then we pick up there.
Right.
So yeah, with that,
exactly.
Yeah, what else you got?
So one of the first things I noticed was how well this group plays together and plays off of each other and stuff. So I had kind of a 2-part question. The first part you've already answered was like, how long have you guys been together? It was 4 recordings at least. Second, just for, I guess, my curiosity and probably the people listening and following along, Josh and Daniel, how much tabletop RPG or live play experience do you guys have already? Obviously, I'm going to guess this isn't your first go around here.
No. Well, for me, I did one campaign that lasted a year, then kind of fizzled out before this, and then I did a few one-shots before that.
Nice.
A year ago when COVID hit, I got not Layla, but we had 1 week on, 1 week off kind of deal. Thank God I was getting paid the entire time. I had a lot of free time, and I've always been a fan of Critical Role and all these other huge D&D live plays. So I thought I would try my hand, and thank God I found that amazing website. Start playing. If you guys are out there, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And this great guy named Chris was doing my first quest, which was this I don't know, it's from the 60s or the 70s with a recording in a video in a straight up a cassette player that would have these scripted scenes that he would play for us. And it was a great way while he was teaching us how to play, and I fell in love immediately. And then I met Ray, who was the first DM who I really clicked with. And for a year and a half, I was playing Waterdeep, and I loved it. And after that had ended, I tried to look for some new people because I want to explore. And thank God I found you guys.
Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, I have always had a passing interest in D&D, but finally found a group about a year ago. So I'm kind of going through my first big campaign. I've done a few one-shots a few years before there, but all right, so you guys have a little more experience than, well, I'd say me, but you play off each other so well. That's still something I'm just like, nice.
Always been a drama kid, so it's like getting back into that little like scratching an itch I haven't been able to scratch since high school.
It's improv for sure.
Yeah.
And think it's a combination of like, so I did community theater as well, so it's a combination of like getting into character, but also doing puzzles in your own head and then throwing that through the filter of your character, which is, it sounds difficult, but once you do it a few times, it's pretty easy. And Josh, you also pointed out something I was going to ask later, but let's do it now. Do you have any other D&D or tabletop media that you follow along, that you draw inspiration from? Since we were talking about the start of the campaign, is there anything you guys drew on inspiration from for your characters?
Personally, me, a lot of it came from Viking lore. I'm a huge history. I try to delve a little bit into that. I had recently finished my second playthrough of Assassin's Creed Valhalla when I was creating my character, and but since then I've co-opted that. I'm a huge Warhammer fan, Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy, and I bring a lot of that, like those elements into the character creation when I was doing that. The Living Storm, that kind of deal. And I kind of tweaked it, but I made him a complete, I want to say moron, because he's not a moron. Dunderhead? Is that a good word for it?
Sure.
I think Thunderhead is better.
Thunderhead.
Well, no.
Yep.
And anything that you brought in for Derek, or like any sort of just general D&D tabletop media that you follow that might have influenced you?
I don't think so, because with Derek, I just like the idea of like an intelligent sorcerer that didn't completely rely on the charisma and had some intelligence. Because Derek started off as a backup character from the other campaign I was in. And he was supposed to be an archaeologist because there's some like ruined stuff in that campaign. So he started out being an archaeologist. So when I went to this one, I kind of changed it a bit to fit more the setting.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Still,
that's awesome.
General, like, has some intelligence.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's like I'm always curious of how people get to their creative process, and
I'd
I'm
like
sure
to do
you
like
also
a sorcerer researching the powers behind it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also like have. I know we're still fleshing out their backstories. I'm sure there's things you guys found along the way. It's like, ooh, maybe I can add this in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I gave up a lot of creative control to Fraya because I want to be surprised about backstories, which I know is a mistake because I can see him smiling evilly at me.
You fucked up.
I wanted this really interesting character that, first of all, I was not prepared for the 3 pages of backstory that he gave me that I know about on our first campaign. That kind of like, oh, this guy, I think we're in for a good time now.
It's fun because knowing Fraya for so many years, I could have told you and warned you about all of that, but it's also like, that's the kind of stuff I love too. Is like I'll just give a little idea to the DM and just see what they throw back at me, and hopefully I have enough improv to get myself out of it. But yeah, I think there was. Oh man, I had a note. We'll get to it. I think it's enough backstory. I want to try to get through the notes and reactions. The first main point I had from episode 1 is a Volcar takes a Red Bull, just flies and grows wings. So now with the backstory, you can kind of fill in and all that stuff.
Before thing, we've confirmed now that Volcar is in fact an Azamar. He did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
He had no idea what the hell an Azamar. He comes from a very remote village. He had no idea. And once he begun to suspect, he was actively denying it. It's like that when someone else tells you who you are, you try to exert any kind of control you can. Like your parents tell you this is who you're going to be. Your boss tells you, no, you have to be this while you work and stuff. So you try to exert a little control wherever you are. Volcar is the type of guy who says, nope, unless I say it's something, it's not true.
Yeah. Perfect.
No, selective amnesia. Or he just hit his head and he had complete amnesia. That's something I might not even know.
Oh, right. That's something for a neurologist or concussion protocol. One of those two. I had a note if you were worrying about rations. I don't think you guys are. Not super hardcore.
No, good. Generally, we just say we buy supplies with a trip. Enough supplies with a trip.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Though I did, coming up into that, we did Knoll bacon.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
There was no bacon.
There was.
You made reference that you were eating Knoll bacon coming into like the end of
that
episode 2.
They were very weirded out that I was cutting up the knoll and butchering it like it wasn't a viable food source.
Yeah, things are. Most.
I still wear the cloak of the first knoll we killed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
He does.
Yep, it's true.
Got to that note. Oh, you guys had a split decision. Oh, onto what if you wanted to go on a side quest or continue going up, and you have an even number of players. Which made it hilarious to just sit and be like, "Aw."
Volcar wanted to head north because
Yes.
that had like a very big thing, and the pushback was real. And I was like, "Oh,
yes, it
we're
was
wasting our time. Why are we doing this?" And a part of me, like the Josh above board, is like, "Oh yeah, let's go do the side quest." But I thought, no, Volcar would want to head straight for the temple, fortress of his god. So no.
Yeah, that's that's such a fun dynamic to fight with yourself sometimes. It's like, I want to do this, but my character wouldn't. Something I was going to ask later, but hey, we're already on it now. Is there anything like you've stifled or stopped yourself from doing or saying, either to let someone else kind of continue what they're doing, take the spotlight, or because you knew your character wouldn't? So we already had that with the split decision there.
Yeah.
If you don't have one right now, and one might come up later when we keep going through these.
I will say this at the beginning. In any new relationship, in any new like game, I try to be friends with everybody as the character. So when I ended up jumping on Kalis, I felt so bad. I felt so like it is like that afterward. I actually apologized to him and said, "Listen, none of this came from a point of malice. This was all the character. This wasn't me. This isn't me physically. I'm a nice guy. I swear to God."
Oh, that's so fun, too. Oh my gosh. I did totally forget about how sometimes... So when I've played at an actual table. I haven't thought about, like, debriefing with the players behind them afterwards to be like, I did this for character reasons. We're still good, right? Lilia?
Lila.
The NPC. Lila.
Yep.
Again, my notes are
Lyla.
bad. Lila. Where did Lila come from? Lila beat Volcar in something.
Oh, she beat me to a pulp in a bar fight.
Yeah. That did happen. Right before we started recording as well. There was a good bar scene. Everyone got nice and drunk, and Lila showed up. And Volcar was like loosely half hitting on her by proxy, I guess, and she just beat the shit out of him, even though she's 19.
Volcar's like 28. She's like 19. That killed anything. Like again, This is the character. This is not me.
Yeah.
But she hit him twice and ended that fight. She natural 20 flying roundhoused him in the side of the head, and he just ate shit and was like, "Fuck this, I'm going to sleep."
Yeah. So there were 2 hits that day. Her hitting me hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Anything else about Lila? That's kind of like she already knew Quilly from before, and she's a monk who sometimes goes and takes jobs from Mirka as well, and heads out as a hunter in her own capacity. So that's why she's with them. She knows Quilly, and she kind of does this from time to time. So, yeah.
Oh, the cell phone. Hey, very confusing at first, and then I got it. So you even had the "do not miss your radio check-ins." I'm like, I know where you got that.
I've been there. Yeah, not personally, but I've seen the consequences of Forest Service check-ins being missed. So
yeah. So okay, the cell phone's pretty easily explanatory. Boy, I cannot wait for you guys to miss more of those. That's hard to remember.
Yeah.
That Mirka is so forgiving.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling that if we don't, it's going to be like a pay cut or something like that.
We'll find out.
Take twisted.
Before I get to the big one, I had just again a couple of like my curiosity notes. Do the players hear background noises, or like the soundtrack that you put into the live stream?
Yes.
Or the recordings. Okay.
There's
cool.
It might have been episode 2. It was 2 or 3. RPG sounds didn't work while we were playing, so I added that in post. But I mentioned it at the start of the episode. I think it was 3.
Oh.
Other than that,
3, yeah.
I just record my mic and then all my desktop audio. So it's all the Discord stuff, and they all hear the music and whatever I'm doing in the background there as well.
All right. Next big thing. Oh Dan, am I so glad you're here, so we can dive into this. So your sending stone that interrupted. I'll let you, I guess, talk about as much as you want to talk about it. I don't know if it comes up in later episodes, if that gets fleshed out, but like, was it Delana?
Yep, Zalana.
Yeah. That motherfucker right there. Where is he? Where is he? That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep, this right here.
That
this guy.
Motherfucker.
So I literally have a note of don't give Fraya anything. He will drop it on you at the worst times, which we've already discussed.
No.
Oh no, we've experienced.
I just talked about that the
day before.
Monday.
The day before.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was very close.
And immediately slapped me with it.
Oh, of course.
He will. You give him an inch, he will cut off both your arms and your legs.
Okay, well, so we already knew Danny, Kayla's Danny, created Sarissa, and 2 days later she shows up in game and tortures him. You gotta expect it with him.
Yeah,
I'm an ass.
But it's funny when it happens to other people, not to us.
Oh, I live for the comedy in life, so hearing that, I knew exactly what happened because I knew Fraya, and I'm like,
as soon as
you guys are going to learn quick.
I just looked at his face, and he was just like, ugh, and I was like, yep, I nailed this one.
As soon as I heard that.
Smiling to...
Yep. That was worth recording just for your reaction, Dan.
Okay, what was your question again?
So what is Zalana? What's the backstory there?
Okay. So in short, Zalana is Derek's girlfriend.
Okay.
From his caravan. I don't know if I mentioned the caravan in those episodes yet. Okay, well, slight spoiler just because for context.
Yeah.
Okay, he's from a caravan.
Mm-hmm.
He has a group of friends, and Zalana was in that group of friends. They started dating. They broke up because she had to go off to another section of the caravan. But then they were off and on during that period. And then stuff happens. Derek has to leave the caravan. she disagrees with it. They had an argument, and they just kind of left it at that.
So,
and she slaps him because he says something by accident.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, why does she have the sending stone, the other end of that, or is that just someone else in your caravan? And they just kind of all crowded around a speakerphone.
That's gonna be a running joke.
Running joke. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Constantly getting calls from your ex-girlfriend.
Oh, lovely.
I've lived that nightmare.
Oh no.
Ugh.
The thing
Oh
is,
no.
she is not the one that's supposed to hang on to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that'll be fun. I have a few quotes in here too, and I'm wondering like if I should make that a small segment of like who said this.
Sure. Yeah, I would love that. That'd be amazing.
I will tell you the response, but the player said it's dangerous to be asleep in these games with you. To which Fraya just had an evil laugh.
I want to say that was Josh. That feels like a Josh thing.
Yeah.
That was Josh.
Yep.
So, for slight context, I run a Twitter that's just stuff Ben hears. So if I ever hear something hilarious out of context, I just pick them out and put them on there. So there's some real fun things when listening through here. All right, then you had ambush, which wasn't an ambush, which was kind of an ambush with the hyenas.
Yes.
That was when you was that when he
Yeah, that was
froze Quilly,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. This is when we get the crazy end of this fight. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
We also get Theron's butt is best shield.
Yeah, and we learned that Theron has a hefty ass that he hides with his cloak. He's canon now.
Yes.
he's got dump truck legs.
Yeah. Freya, you're beatboxing for that arrow noise? Yeah.
I thought it was like lasers, like coming after.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible.
I make that sound all the time.
Kayla said nat 20s back to back. So hey,
Double,
rolling
on the
20s.
same roll. Yeah. Technically 3 because the first one was cocked and then he re-rolled and got 2.
Yes. So hey, rolling 20s, roll credits. My note for that was for freezing everyone was Blizzard of Odd. I don't know why.
I don't remember that one.
No.
I think that was just his note on
that was just my note
on Derek's pentakill.
That's how I remembered it.
Yeah.
You guys looted. Don't throw axes at friends. Don't throw axes at party members. Don't do that. Or do at least.
Almost forgot about that little moment. Yeah.
Yeah. See hailing hands right after, but like.
I think I broke off like a piece of Quilly's hair.
You did. Yes, you did.
Yep.
What is a bio bag?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so take a bag of holding, make it a bit smaller physically and capacity-wise, much smaller. It's like a bag of holding that is specifically meant to keep organic matter from spoiling. So the hunters use it out in the field, so if they kill something or they find something, they take it, put it in the bag, bring it back, get paid or do whatever they're going to do with it. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy. You guys were fighting over that so much. I'm just like, what is it? What do we want here?
Yeah, I guess we didn't explain that.
Turkey. That's oh boy, the cave of everything's good, nothing's bad. You all failed your checks.
Walking into the darkness as the most clueless people to ever clue.
You all. Oh boy, and you kept going, and I'm like, I know character-wise, yeah, nothing's bad, but everything in player-wise is just like.
Oh, in my head, no. I was like starting to panic. Like, oh god, this is when the giant dragon pops out and kills us all, and we have to roll new characters.
No, it wasn't the giant dragon. It was just Where's the note? Chester. Oh, boy, was that gross.
Still just disgusting as all hell.
Oh, a fantastic bit of storytelling, but close.
I'm very annoyed that OBS lost that part because it's still, I think, the 20 best minutes of gameplay we've had since we started recording.
Yeah, definitely.
Even through episode 6, and we've lost every moment of it. Some story on Chester.
Oh boy, yes.
Sacrifice to the Twitch gods.
So I won't say anything beyond I won't give any spoilers, essentially. So I actually, as a little bit of backstory for this campaign, I'm playing through or loosely setting up some world stuff based around a campaign I actually had run for about a year when COVID first started. That was actually Ben for Tom and Casey and a lot of other friends.
Right.
So we're set in the same world, but 100 years later, and there's a lot of big changes, and it's essentially not the same campaign anymore by any means. But when we first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to reuse a lot of my good early stuff because it was good. So Chester and A were one of my favorite things from that. I actually like them so much that there's a game that came out recently called Dreampunk. It's a tabletop RPG that I kickstarted, and I paid enough to get Chester and A written into the game. So Chester and A exist in Dreampunk now, in a dream world as themselves. So one of my favorite original creations I've made, yeah.
Oh,
anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
That's incredible. You horrific. What evil have you unleashed upon this world? That's how you guys.
I truly believe he has signed an eldritch pact with some demon for this kind of inspiration.
Just watch too many D-grade horror movies. That's all.
yeah, you would know most of the ones I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the end of episode 1. A strong start. Definitely a bit of a lore dump, which you had to with 4 episodes of backstory going into it. Episode 2, entitled Pinky Promise. More accurately, riddles and giggles. Gosh.
Riddles, giggles, and incredible amounts of frustration.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that came through, which was real easy to come through when Freya's just narrating a character. It's like, I have not laughed this much in decades. Thank you. Your first riddle, honestly, is still frustrating. Even as a viewer, I'm just like, what's going on? Was the 6 piles of stuff around the pedestal.
Yeah.
Show me only wealth.
Show me only wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It was not. First of all, me scrolling to remember everyone's name. Milo or Milo? Milo's Scrooge McDuck dive.
Yeah, into the gold. Yeah.
Episode 2 was a little perfect clip highlights for Milo.
Yeah.
I get that every time I watch that. I get the image of, I don't know if you've ever seen the Family Guy where he does the Scrooge McDuck. It's a great many solids. It's not a liquid. It's a great many solids. That's on the floor like surface.
Yep.
I think you even referenced that in the episode of like, it's not a liquid. It's a great. It's so good. But yeah, like honestly, my first thought was to get the thesaurus and get the, wealth there. No one looked up for a long time, huh?
Yep.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mind-blowingly long time.
I had a thought I should look up, but I never didn't do it because I got distracted by the books.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone, again, played their characters well, went to the things that they thought were wealth or enriching. More gold for Milo. But I mean, it's as someone who is going to be building a one-shot in a month's time for 3 hours.
Steal it. Yeah, steal the puzzle.
3 hours. But, well, here's the thing: is like, I don't know how easy a puzzle should be or how hard a puzzle should be. This episode really showed that players have a tendency to overthink.
Yeah, exclusively.
I still think they were good puzzles.
If you think that that the DM is a psychopath, you think his puzzles are going to be these intricate word plays that make you test your intelligence and your soul. Not look up, there's a mirror.
Yeah. No, that's that is exactly like. After a while, again, knowing Fraya for so many years, I'm like, oh, that's what you did there. Okay. But without having that vital clue of, hey, there's a mirror above, I'm still sitting there just like, what could it be? What am I missing? What's going on? It's just a field of nothing, 6 things, pillar.
So, admittedly,
above.
The core concept of that one, of the 3 puzzles, I actually didn't make... I didn't come up with the core concept of this one. This is one that I just heard of about a while ago, and I changed a lot of details and added stuff to. So I can't quite take credit for the evilness of this one. Not all of it. But it is one of my all-time favorite puzzles. And Josh almost solved it instantly, and someone else cut him off before he finished his thought. Yeah. And I was like, yes, thank you so much, whoever did that. I love you.
Yeah. So you got your runtime. Well, you could have got more runtime later.
I think it was for the best, just because I don't think Volcar would have actually solved it that fast.
With how you want to play Volcar,
It's hard to say. It's a logic puzzle more than anything.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is where we get the phrase "God of Shiny." I
actually don't remember this.
That was in the pile of weapons and stuff, were some armor, some of which were shinier than Aegis's armor. Even though he was the God of Shiny.
Yeah, that was me being snarky, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Next was the painting puzzle, or they were in the room that had the painting bookshelf, the doors. Yes,
they're gimmicks.
Yep.
God, I don't even. This must have been one where I had to focus on driving, because I think I remember how this ended.
Yeah. This was.
I think we had to ask how to come out if we could come.
You had to knock on the door and ask if you could enter the party, or.
So
basically, yeah.
Essentially, this one I think it is the meanest of the ones that I put you through so far. I won't say the meanest one I've designed, but the meanest of them.
Gave us tea.
There's so many things to focus on that are completely meaningless but really cool. Like everything with the painting being of the building and affecting it will never get you out of it in any way that I could wrap my head around. It's just cool and fun to fuck with. So I have run this puzzle for a few groups, and most of them get caught up on the tea. I've had multiple of them try to pour tea on everything to look for hidden messages and stuff. So many people don't inspect the desk for so long, and they don't find the thing that is the only clue that exists, which is Sir Gimmick's autobiography, where it says he's few descriptors and most of all he's well-mannered. So essentially any display of good manners to the figure outside the door, whether it's inviting them in for tea, I've had that happen, or something else like that. Ideally, it's just knock on the door, ask if you can leave. It's that simple. Not kidding. But any display that kind of fits that theme works. And I loved the process of you all losing your minds on this one. It was very entertaining for me.
Well, one of the things I thought was, like, there was something written on the papers on the desk, and you had to drink the tea to see what was written on it.
That's fair. Which would be cool, but it was not the case in this one.
Yeah, I know. A lot of red herrings.
Yeah. No, it was a ton of red herrings. I called it the painting puzzle. I legitimately forgot how it ended for a second, because I was, again, so enamored with that painting.
I love that painting. I love that everything changed with the painting. It was great.
Oh yeah,
it was a red herring as all hell, but it was. Oh yeah, it was still very cool.
Awesome.
I kind of want to make a puzzle where. Oh god, Derek, you're dead.
No, just like a little character thing I just thought for Derek was because like they smashed the windows, smashed the chairs. I just wrote down sorry about the chair and windows. Cause...
That was good.
Yes, that was so good. I was thinking, like, maybe you could do a puzzle, like, it doesn't have to be this campaign, but some campaign. Like, someone could do a puzzle where you have to rearrange stuff in the house so that the painting then lines up with something else and kind of just unlocks that way. But
that's a cool idea.
That could be cool.
Could
And
be
who
cool.
knows?
You can't do it for us now because we know the secret, but
Of
I
course
know.
I can. I can disguise that so many ways.
Yeah, we'll probably forget about this.
I will too. It's fine.
oh my God. Yeah. Oh, again. So Kalis. I always keep going back and
Kalis.
forth. I'm bad. Kalis.
Yes.
Kalis is basically
This one.
you guys ended up with Kayla's got a C in devotion, but C's get degrees.
Yeah, that's a good lot. Yep.
Yeah.
The Milo scale. Judging Milo's
Yeah.
Milo's height to the podium. It's like 2 Milos, 1.5 Milos.
Yeah,
Funny.
he's pretty tiny.
Yeah. And then the oh boy, the room that you guys spent
Okay, that was
quite
my
a long
favorite.
time
Faith
trying
is
to
blind?
find. Yes.
That's what I
Yeah,
call it. Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
A few questions to see how this works. Did they each have to find a different way to get out
So essentially,
originally?
once you see someone succeed at doing something, it's not blind faith anymore because you're aware that it works.
Okay. That
So,
makes sense then.
This essentially turns into, yes, you need to do your own display of blind faith. Or technically there is a possibility where, let's say Volcar closed his eyes, walked to the door, no one else saw it. They had no idea. If
Yeah.
someone else tried that, it'd still be blind faith for them.
Yeah, if everyone
but
trust fell at the same time, no one would catch them, but they'd all get out.
that could work. That actually would be one of the fastest ways to solve this potentially. But yeah, that's kind of the core of it, is just some display of
Okay.
blind faith will get you out of it. And this one had some of my favorite responses to this I've ever seen.
walking to the door every time Volcar tries the same thing afterwards, just falling, getting smashing on his face. I imagine he looks he's more bruised than person at the end of this episode.
Dan, you got out pretty quickly. I think you were second or third out,
I think third.
because you were in the separate chat that happened
Yeah.
with the blinded
Yes.
webcams.
Yes.
Did you think? I want to know. Like, did you have any thoughts of like, what's Fraya going to do with us since no one else is getting out? What like? Am I in the principal's office? What's going on?
Kind of, but I thought it was going to be like something, a way to help the others.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to point and laugh at them.
No, he just made popcorn.
I was the last person out of that room.
A little bit. I mean, so I saw you were talking. Oh, that's right. We came back and you were talking about charities and stuff you like to support. I was just sitting there the entire time because we could hear the dead chat, for lack of a better term. And then I saw you talking like, what are they trying to do? What
So
are we
I
missing here?
actually, in the future episodes, I reverse the equation. So usually I have a secret chat in Discord that I take people to. Now I've started kicking everyone else out in the secret chat. And then muting, so all you see on Vorpal is just me and whoever's still in the chat with me. So it was swapped on that one. So it was a little awkward, admittedly.
Yeah.
I do fix that in the future.
Yeah,
We're just talking about the personal charity that I personally support, and like I thought it was like a good way to
Tell us about it right now. Let's hear it.
It's called Take This. It's they set up quiet rooms at gaming conventions with they educate on mental health, because for some people it can be, who are like us, who are a lot of insular people, a lot of people at a convention and stuff, it can be a little overwhelming. It comes from that old Legend of Zelda. Hey, you look like you could use some help. Take this.
That's amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Love that.
And it's a great organization. It's one I support when I can, and it's a wonderful organization that helps a lot of people who are just dealing with mental health and problems. And it also offers like education on mental health, that kind of thing. Someone who has experienced mental health problems, who has had mental health problems, it's near and dear to my heart.
Well, that's wonderful.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Maybe at some point when we are a bit more established as a channel, I would love to do some charity stuff and donate to them and whatnot, so we can chat on that when it's possible.
Oh boy, then this was just what is the opposite of a staring contest? Because that's what this was.
I don't rightly know what to call it, to be honest, but
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Just sort of, I don't know.
I'm I was just waiting
more people
to see who would wake up, unblink first, who would stop meditating first. Oh my goodness.
It was a test of will.
It was.
Yes. I really enjoyed this bit of the scene. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it, but I really liked it. Clearly waking up and then more Kalis and Volkar fucking with each other.
I have a note of Kalis is still poking Volkar to this day.
Oh wait, this is where Milo got his crossbow.
Yeah. Real soon, yeah.
Oh boy.
This is where it all begins.
Yes.
It was a mistake giving that to him. It was truly a mistake.
He's the only one that could have used it.
It's true.
This is all Freya's fault.
You guys can blame me for your mistakes. It's fine.
Oh, we do.
We blame it all on you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Freya's fault.
So I have another exciting round of who said this.
Sure.
Because it's another one that's just perfect out of context. I always like to end my meditative sessions with assault.
Oh, I know I said that because I was just flipping through the episode a bit earlier today, and I happened to click right on that line, so that was pretty fresh in my head. Also, for those who happen to know me and my meditative history, it's really not that far off. Self-assault, I'll say, but anyway, I'll leave that mysterious as it is, but
sure, we'll go with that.
So many questions for me.
Yeah, it happens.
Riddles are finished, and you got your rewards. All of you were absolutely elated that you were able to take every item, and you divvied up that in less than 4 minutes, I think.
It was quick.
In real time. There was like maybe deliberation, like 2 people wanted the belt, if I remember correctly, and then everyone else was just like, we're good with that. We've immediately found out giving Milo the crossbow
was the huge mistake.
Was the worst move you could have made.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you don't have to say spoilery rhetoric or anything, but is there anything you wish you would have deliberated on more, or that you would have gotten instead of what you did receive?
For the story elements, I thought what I personally got was just amazing, because it really just catapulted the story, like the tension, the editing, and it was so good, and I truly love it, and I am grateful.
Oh yeah, coming in, that almost immediately resolved too, because we get a lot more of the insane.
We really wanted to attune to those bracelets
like immediately. And Derek, you got the shell
cream
shell paste lotion,
shell paste
lotion. Yeah, I kind of wish I got the dodge belt, but it's fine. They both.
You were the only other person who wanted an item. Didn't quite get that, but I'm hoping the shell cream helped out at some point in the future.
Hey, moisturizing cream can help even the worst hands.
Fair.
I will say, not really a spoiler, it hasn't come up yet, but I expect it's gonna happen at some crazy moment when I've long forgotten about its existence, and you're frantically flipping through your equipment oh shit, what can I use here, and you find it, and it's gonna have some incredible payoff. That, or it's just gonna get lost in some stupid way. Those are the only 2 outcomes I expect for it. That's how all these items end up with. But
yeah,
I was amazed. I had anticipated they were going to spend at least 25 minutes trying to figure out what to do with this.
With how the riddles went, I was like, oh, this is the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
no, it's like 3 minutes.
Had
like,
they done that,
okay.
A was just gonna boot him back out. And they wouldn't have gotten the other stuff out of him because he would have just got annoyed. So actually, by being decisive, you guys won a lot of information. So kudos on that.
We were lucky because we got because I was ready to just pop out and leave and head north, but
Kalis good questions.
Yeah, Kalis had some good questions.
So yeah, you got a lot of information by being decisive, which was awesome. And then we kind of just traveled quickly because we're just like, and we traveled for about 2 days. And
Volcar got so angry because it felt to him like they had just wasted all this time.
Yes. And it only ended up being like 2 hours. And you got good loot out of it.
No, it was the travel time because we went in the opposite direction.
Yeah. That's right.
Which was like almost 5 days.
Yes.
In the opposite direction. I mean, we saw that ship, which I am sure is going to come back to haunt us.
Jesus.
Yes.
That airship is a BBEG.
It's a
the way that everyone's been treating that ship. It's the
something
BBEG.
is off that ship.
I will say
something.
I will say no one has any actual reason to be so suspicious into it. Not spoilery, but people are caught up on this still a few episodes later. People are still really thinking about this. Ben.
1. I took a note of it. I guess. My note is just I guess airships are a thing, and that's my only note. And I skipped that note because I'm like, I guess it doesn't really pay off. You guys won't probably even remember that.
No,
and now I know you all are paranoid about it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, travel montage. There's a few of those incoming. As for, like from my point of view, like I know a lot of people are like never skip travel. Like unless it has a purpose, like or if there's like sometimes if you have like random encounter charts or you're doing long stuff, like that's fine. But I didn't, and I wasn't gonna force anything to happen. Like not everything's exciting. Anyone who's ever actually gone out and backpacked for a week will know most of it is just walking.
Walking.
And most of it is annoying. You're sweaty and tired, and I don't want to focus on that in the story. So yeah, I like to
sweaty, you're tired, you've run through the list of Broadway songs you can remember off the top of your head.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, I will
I miss the high desert of Nevada.
Ah. Nice.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll turn it back over to you, Ben.
So during all this, we get the Kalis and Quilly backstory, Milo's first net.
Yes.
At the end of that,
the dark nets, as I have called him,
which was good. It was good backstory. Just neither of them are here right now, but
we can still talk about it a little bit.
We can
talk about them behind their back. There,
they can theorize. I cannot spoil my secrets, so we'll
that's fair. I don't think I have any theory. Like a lot of times, I just let things happen. Like I don't really theorize too far ahead. Also, maybe with this because I know there's 3 episodes that I need to catch up on. I'm like, oh, hopefully we unpack that later. And then when we don't, I'll go back to it and bring it up here.
I think you'll find yourself inclined to start theorizing pretty soon.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
That's all I'll say. There's some stuff.
It's again trying to get through the lore dump, and I'm also bad with names. So every now and then I'm like, wait, where are they heading again? I have to look through my notes.
Thunder.
So, yeah, well, yeah.
Yes,
it's a great,
yes.
The great north.
Every other word that seems to come out of Volkar's mouth is thunder.
It's thunder. Oh boy! And did you show that off in your vision / dream /
waking dream kind of like deal?
I'm calling you and Kalis the Red Bull boys because you both have wings.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just wait till level 14.
If anybody's watching this and we're still famous, now that's the fan art. Red Bull boys. That's the first piece of fan art I want to see. Red Bull boys.
Kalis's cloak just has a big Red Bull emblem instead of Bahamut.
Volkar's got a tattoo that says it gives you wings.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys to start unpacking the scene as much as you want to, because it's a pretty big one. It's maybe my favorite recorded scene we have so far, because we lost the Chester one. This one is crazy, and I was not ready for it either. I wanted to, no way to predict this.
With all that was happening, and Volkar finally seeing like Kalis literally kicking what he assumes is a child, and all this anger and rage that he has for basically we wasted 5 days of our time when we should have been heading north. Going in the wrong direction, all this bad feelings and like ribbing that has he thought it was good naturedly, but might have an undertone of some malice under it, just came to a head, and he wanted to hit something, and Kalis made himself a very, very attractive target.
Mm-hmm. That's just that's right. In the Quillian Kalis backstory, Kalis said something of like, Kalis felt like he was a failure because he hadn't saved everyone or saved enough people. And then you immediately contrast it with this. And it's just like, which is the real Kalis? And
still don't know.
Exactly. What's hiding underneath the surface? Who's winning in that fight? Which side of Two-Face are we getting here?
I just want to chime in on that. Again, I could not have written this as Josh's camera was flying around the screen. No, anyway, I could not have possibly written this even this well. Like, I was just like, here's this friendship amulet I've made because it's a fun item and it'll force people to start talking about stuff, and that's fun. I never, ever, ever could have imagined or asked for a better way for this to play out instantaneously. Just the way everything was turning in the setup, and Kalis and Quilly talking about life and all that, and his failing and that, and we had some dream sequences that happened before we started recording as well that I referenced pretty heavily as well. I don't know. The scene just kind of started creating itself in my head in this moment.
Those are always the best moments.
Yeah, and I kind of just like let it play out, and like when I started talking it, I didn't have a direction for it. I didn't have an ending. I didn't have a big picture on it. I just like kind of picked up some of these notes and was like, okay, I can run with this. And as I started talking, I just saw this split figure in my head, and I was like, oh, okay, this is so good on so many levels that I can't get into. And the two of you created, with that framework, such a legendary scene. I think when we're way at the end of this game and we look back on episode 2 with this crazily powerful beginning, we are just going to be... I think this is still going to be one of the highlight scenes of the entire campaign. I'm calling it right now. Yeah, this was so good.
It came out so well.
As soon as I can, I'm absolutely commissioning someone to do some art of this, because I need this moment immortalized, as it was just
like the
so
concept of he puts out his wings and I put out mine and we're flying toward. It was like an anime-esque superhero moment.
It was. And
it was
just
the
like
Batman versus Superman moment where that happens in every one of the movies that they eventually try to kill each other, then team up.
And for me, just like shout out to Danny for how brilliantly he shows the darkness of Kalis in this. And like Josh, you also nailed like you met him and like calling him a failure in that, and like just calling out some other stuff was like, it was so good, because as you said, like the butting heads and whatnot that we've been building up to since literally the first 20 minutes of game 1, not episode 1, game 1, it started to be like, maybe there is something genuinely malicious going on here.
A little bit of like a genuine animosity.
Yes. And it just blew up. And then because we had the framework of the friendship amulet coming out of it, you guys turned that into this beautiful pinky promise, start of this weird rocky like bromance. And I was just, that episode ended and my brain was just like fireworks for the next 2 hours. I was so pleased.
After that episode ended, I felt like I could run like a mile or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy shit. So cool. Absolutely loved it. And it actually, I am remembering this was the episode I got to add the music to, because I spent way too much time scoring out this scene, actually using the full version of our theme song, our intro song, which is a song that I actually wrote. I used most of that and some other stuff.
Props to you.
Thank you. And it just, I remember because I stream, the finished videos, so they're just on one monitor and I'm working on other stuff right next to it. And I remember listening to that on stream and just being like, oh my fucking God, this is such a powerful scene to experience. And I'm
in episode
so
2.
happy. In episode 2. Just so crazy.
2.
So yeah, kudos to you guys. And just like the great cut of Theron just like being awake and you guys like holding your invisible weapons and him just being like, I'm gonna leave you guys to this. Just
I'm out.
so good. So
I
good.
just love how Theron is the voice of reason.
He's the
in
brain
all
cell.
of this, in this
cell.
like
One.
like this craziness.
Yeah, I'd say Theron and Derek actually.
Yeah, I think
they're the two
Derek
level-headed ones.
is the calming Derek for Volcar, at least, just because he has a relationship with Derek from before.
Yeah.
Really feels like the little brother-esque that Volcar, at least how I perceive it. Like that little brother-esque that's like, you've always had that younger sibling who can like, all right, you made your point, unfortunately you're wrong. And is the one who like, you got to go back onto this path. Like you're steering to the left a bit. Let's bring it in a bit.
Yeah, I think that is very well displayed in the next couple episodes. I think, Ben, you'll probably have some insight to add to that next time we meet up. But yeah, Ben, what are your thoughts on this crazy scene? Like, because you were catching this not long before we hit record on this.
Yeah. It's
what was going through your head?
It well, with the music added behind it, obviously, because it being the thing, I'm like, oh, this is a grandiose stage. This is like a pivotal pillar moment that, like, when you said you like episodes on, you'll be like, right, that's like one of the main things that happened in the first few episodes, immediately followed by they could not get out of a room, which happened 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
And the quick jump from like comedic gold to character defining moments and backstories solidifying the tension in the relationship between two characters. Like, that's a thing that everyone's going to have to play off of now. Both, Volcar and Kalis, but everyone in the party and Fraya, and something that any viewer can just kind of like, all right, this happened. Now we know where everyone's coming from. Number one, do we trust Kalis anymore? Number two, does the party? Number three, how is Fraya just absolutely going to hammer this into
how is Fraya going to just destroy us with all this information?
Destroy, yeah, exactly.
He'll give you a little something, and that's just to distract you from the punch that's coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's also to distract you from the actual punch.
Well, yeah. This last episode.
Yeah. Some stuff. There's some stuff. I'll just say.
Yeah, you're gonna have we'll be back on that.
You guys are not ready for my scheming I'm doing right now for this upcoming episode in 2 days.
Oh boy,
3 days. But
so 2 podcasts from now, we'll get to that.
Yes. But
nice.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was one of those scenes where when it ended, like, sometimes I can't tell if things feel cooler in my head because I'm experiencing the creative flow of mediating it all. And it's actually like, real quick, sidebar, I guess. I enjoy playing RPGs. It's fun. But I love being a DM so much more because I like to create problems more than I like to solve them. So I can't tell sometimes if scenes feel super crazy to me because I'm going through the mental high of being in the flow state for hours and hours on end. And this one, when I was adding the music to it and editing it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe we made this. And just as like a little bit, so like we had our 4 games before we started playing. Before that, I did not know any of them. Mikey and Blair are friends. They've been friends for a while, but aside from that, none of us knew each other. And we were 30 minutes into our first game ever, and I was like, oh my god, I think I found my stream group. And after session 2, I pitched it to them, and everyone was on board, and I lost my damn mind with that. And then you fast forward a month, and we have this scene happening just in live improv in front of us, and I was like, this is all of the reinforcing I needed for this. I'm so goddamn happy with this.
It's really I work 9 to 5 every day. I go to work. This is the highlight of my week, getting together with these guys and playing this game. Just because in the middle of the week I get to hang out with a great bunch of people. I get to play an amazing game that I personally love, and I get to play pretend in front of a whole bunch of random people who I'll probably never meet, or maybe I will. I don't know.
And then that's why, like, when we started, I was kind of just diving into, like, how did this group dynamic form so quickly? How long have you guys been playing? You only did 4 episodes together? Okay, you seem like seasoned group here.
Like,
I'm not kidding. So
if you really want to get into it,
technically, yeah. So the getting the party together scene, just the introductions. I'm not kidding. We were maybe 5 minutes into. I handed the scene over to the party, and I was like, oh my god, if they keep this up, this is my favorite group I've ever run for already. And I've been doing this professionally. This is my job. This is my full-time job for a year. And then part-time before that for a while. I've run games for a lot of people. And just stumbling into a group that 5 games, 6 games later, we have this sort of stuff going on was just the stuff of miracles for me.
Lightning in a bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he captured it because we were so I was personally I had been looking to try my hand at like a stream setting, and this just the fact that someone else asked me, and it was a huge honor, and it's been a privilege so far, and in many years to come, I hope we're still doing this every Thursday night.
I agree.
Nice.
Eventually, I'd like to do it in person. We're all gonna get together one day.
Yes.
Nice.
Some point.
Where are you guys? Like, you can just say state is fine. Where is everyone?
Down south in Florida, the Sunshine State.
Nice. Excellent.
I'm in Texas.
Texas. Nice.
I'm Pittsburgh. Izzy is in California. I want to say Mikey and Blair are in Washington.
Yeah, and then Danny's in Toronto.
Yeah, I want to say Toronto. Yeah.
Nice.
So
he's in Canada.
So interestingly enough, there are 2 other shows starting on the Wrath War Games channel relatively soon. We're still doing some big world building. Danny actually plays in one of them as well. So there's another Canadian guy in there as well. So in that group, we have 2 Canadians. Me. We have Casey, who's from Michigan. We have Melody, who's from California, and Michael, who's from LA. So, yeah, pretty exciting stuff for me to get another show with another insanely good cast going. I don't know how I found 2, and then I actually get to play in the 3rd game. Casey's running it.
Nice.
And Josh will be joining that one as well. So,
okay.
I'll get to play with Josh.
Look forward to it.
Exciting.
We haven't gotten together as much as we'd like, but we're gonna get together and we're gonna sort this out.
Tomorrow is our first thing, but Anyway, that aside,
but if we're wrapping up,
any other big stuff?
2 quick questions.
Yeah.
Dan, if I may, why are you Iron Dan as opposed to the other Dan?
Oh boy, that goes back to my first gamer tag on Xbox from middle school.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy, do I have questions to ask everyone now.
oh no, not my first gamer tag. My first gamer tag was horrifying.
I don't even know mine, to be honest. I have no idea.
I remember it because of how bad it is, and I had to like actively look to change it. I had to pay to change it.
Yep. Okay. Oh, we did
did
the thing. We had enough friends where we would just report each other's gamer tags enough that Xbox.
I was an insular. I was one of those weird insular kids who had like 2 friends.
Yep. That's.
I was Whirling Zeus.
Oh, not
Wow.
bad. No, that's not bad.
I've heard worse. It's a bit cheesy, but I've heard much worse.
I'm not
worse.
finished.
Oh, no.
Whirling Zeus 69, 69, 69.
Excellent. I mean, it's Zeus.
Honestly,
that's accurate.
That is very accurate.
The 369s kind of makes it less bad somehow. It becomes kind of charming.
My mother complained about it constantly because she was the one, God bless her, who was paying for the Xbox Live. She's like, why am I getting emails about Whirling Zeus and 69s?
Yes.
Oh man.
That's incredible.
I was expecting the XXX for 420. That's
right.
Oh god. Okay. First of all, this is still my gamer tag on Xbox. It has not changed.
That's fair. Commit to it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was.
You can stick it
Iron
out.
Rock
More power to you.
777. That's what I came up with, and all of my usernames have been some derivative. Yeah. I can't talk.
Some derivative of
that.
Yeah, yes. I didn't quite hear. Is Iron what 777?
Iron Rock 777.
Nice.
Iron Rock.
Nice.
I don't know why I came up with that.
No one knows why they make their gamer tags.
Well, yeah. Well, mine, interestingly, I started with this, went away, and then I'm slowly coming back to just using this again. It's just Ben43 with 2 N's, so BENN43.
I see that in your Discord name.
Yep.
For some reason, I still keep coming back to Skaith 1992.
Okay.
Yeah, which is from my favorite video game of all time.
Nice.
If anyone who can find that out, I'll give them an invisible collar.
And then I have one last fun resounding round of who said it.
Okay.
This one's a real short quote, and we'll probably get it real quick. But the quote I wrote down is "fuck books."
That sounds like me, actually.
That feels like Volcar.
It was Volcar.
That sounds like Volcar.
I feel like you say it in a later episode too. So cool. Well, we got all those.
Just a quick comment.
Yeah.
Okay. That scene between Volcar and Kalis, that actually helped me hammer out Derek's inner workings.
Yeah, I remember we had a chat not long after that game.
I will say this, your theme is so unique for like your ancestor thing that I've never seen someone bring that kind of like Latin American, Central Mesoamerican like culture.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting to see when you were talking about it and explaining.
You know, I haven't used my spiritual weapon on stream yet.
No, you haven't. You need to. I'll try to set you up for it. But nice. I have a question for Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, don't feel biased because we have to the party here. After the first 2 episodes, do you have a favorite party member? Do you have a favorite character in the party?
Don't do that. Have a favorite.
I want to know. I want to know. I want to know who's so far is calling to you the most. And I fully intend to check in on this as we go for a little bit because you are in for an insane ride the next 2 weeks or a couple weeks of this. So right now, is there a character
first 2 episodes?
Who has been super
you ain't seen nothing yet. No, you ain't seen nothing yet.
They were very Volcar centric. Volcar and Kalis, like very like heavy on those 2. So I do not like that you put me on the spot like this.
If you don't have one, you don't have one. It's I'm just curious. I just want to know, like, is there like I'm sure at some point the internet will have, team everyone, but
right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is like I'm so curious about the backstories that we haven't gotten yet. Like Dan, you said like you have a whole new like solidification of who Derek is, and like, oh, let's get to that.
Well, during like the beginning, I was trying to hammer it out, but then when that scene happened, it got me thinking. Basically, if Derek was the one having that friendship bracelet with either of them, what would they see like in that dream sequence?
Yeah,
And that just got me started thinking.
Yes.
Like over the weekend, it helped me hammer it out.
Nice. Quilly,
You get more of Derek later on after.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it really. We move a little away from Volcar and Kaz, and we let the other characters shine because they definitely deserve to shine.
Yes. They haven't yet, and I know that we'll get to that. But because of that, I'm like, oh, I probably have to go with Volcar because he doesn't have a deep, dark secret that we don't know yet.
Does he?
Kalis,
Who knows?
that we don't know yet. There's a yet there. But I mean, everyone else, I'm so excited to like get into their backstories. We touched on it a bit with Quilly, and we have comedic relief with that. Amilo on the net. And the Scrooge McDuck dive.
I'm surprised he hasn't used it on me yet.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking, actually.
I know.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I'm like the easiest one to hit.
Yeah, maybe that's why he doesn't want to. It's not challenging enough.
Too easy.
Yeah.
I can go with that. I can work with that.
Yeah, Taryn, I still want to learn because I don't think we have had any like backstory like dive in yet.
Yeah,
that
is fair.
Later.
And I do know that the start of the show is very Kalis Volcar centric, but we do pretty quickly. You'll notice come episode 3, it's the spotlight kind of widens a bit, and we start getting some of that.
Yeah,
and then by 5, it's just chaos. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
Good.
Also, just kind of warming up to the characters.
After we hit my like that mark in episode 2, I felt like I'm like, okay, I am definitely pulling a lot of focus. I don't want to do that. Everybody deserves to have fun and have these big character moments so I kind of pulled back a little on a few things just because I want Derek to go into the spotlight. I want Quelly to have this epic moment. Like I got my epic moment very early, so everybody else deserves an epic moment. Will come back around to me.
That was a point I was going to make or ask too. Is like how do you kind of in that stifling of things you might want to say or items you might want, do you ever like stifle yourself to give the spotlight out? You already answered that question.
A little bit, but a lot of it is I like to think, oh, what would Volcar do in this situation? Like I try to take Josh out of it and put Volcar into it.
Right.
Because if it's just me, then I want everything. I'm a pack rat. I want all the shiny things. Yeah. But everybody else deserves a shiny thing.
Oh yeah. Nice.
It's also interesting because the first 4 sessions weren't Volcar and Kalis based. It was actually, I think, a very, very even spread. Like Kalis faced the most embarrassment by his own actions and bad rolling. But it was a very balanced thing, and like I'm very sad that I don't have that recorded because it is a really smooth transition. And so I feel like I wish we could have picked up 1 session before we did.
Okay.
Yeah, admittedly, we did start at a weird time, but I was like, I don't want to delay this anymore.
Right.
So personally, I totally get people like coming into the end of episode 2 being like, okay, there's 2 party members and some other people who exist around them, because especially the second half of Pinky Promise is a lot of that. But the spread becomes a lot more even.
Oh, I will say this: that Pinky Promise was the most epic part of the thing. I loved it. I just had that image from Predator of the 2 most muscular guys in the world, like trying to. But as a Pinky Promise, there was so much testosterone flying in that Pinky Promise.
Yeah.
That's another piece of fan art that we need.
Oh, 100%. I've been seeing that image in my head ever since that moment happened. But any other last remarks? This feels like a pretty decent wrapping up point for this.
Yeah. I'm excited. Looking forward to it. I got another 6 hours to get through in 7 days. Easy.
Yeah, you got this.
With you guys, with how engaging and interesting this is, easy. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to do this, by the way. It is great being able to be back on screen with you and just chat and hang out. And it's been a while, and
so much fun.
So this is more just for Josh and Dan. How excited are you guys for Ben to watch episode 4?
Oh.
Specifically the second half of episode 4. How I'm mind blown.
Oh, you're gonna have so much fun with that.
Fun as in jaw on the floor, or fun as in I should get a drink?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Probably both of those rapid fired for some period of time.
Like it'll gut shot you, and like, oh my god, it'll physically affect you, because it physically affected me.
Okay. I will say, when you'll know the part I'm talking about, you will definitely know it. Just watch people's faces as I'm saying things. Just pay real close attention. It's just so good. It's just so good.
Don't end of episode 4. Set off my fire alarm. End of episode 4. Watch it on my lunch break. Don't listen to it while driving.
Yes. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes up. Pay good attention to that. You will have so many questions, I'm sure, but I won't say anything else on that. I think that's all I have. Thank you guys for being here for the first episode. Ben and I will be back here next Monday recording. So I'll check to see who wants to show up for that. But Ben, thank you very much. Do you have a way you want to close this? Because you're the host. It's your spotlight, technically.
Thank you for listening to the companion podcast to the Rolling 20's. Name still to be determined. We'll see you back here after the next 2 episodes, which are recorded and out on the Rathmore Games YouTube channel. WRATHMOORE. Right?
Correct.
Excellent.
Yep.
If you are short on time, listen to 1.25 speed. It's still as not legible, but coherent. You can still figure it out.
Awesome.
But yeah. Thank you again, Fraya, for creating such a great story so far and for hosting this. Josh and Iron Dan, thank you so much for joining us. Anyone watching, thank you for your time, for your ears, for listening, supporting any way you can, even if it's just listening, honestly. And we'll be back here soon.
Cool. Thank you. I'll add 2 little things. Catch us on Twitch at the Rathmore Games channel. Right now, Rolling 20 streaming every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or for most of us who are in Eastern Time or somewhere in between in the group, 8 p.m. And if you want to support us, we have a Ko-fi page, Ko-fi, I've heard it pronounced both ways, ko-fi.com/RathmoreGames. If you want to throw us a donation or sign up for some monthly membership stuff. It's kind of like Patreon. I'll be adding more to that in the future, but blah, blah. Anyway, thank you for listening and tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.